All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of I Quit My Band. My name's Nate.
I'm Evan.
And we're back again.
Yeah.
We're just rolling through it tonight.
Yeah, we're content machines.
We're content machines. It's the season of the chat. If you've been paying attention, that means we're just covering all of the albums that are being released this spring. Lots of good shit coming out. So go check out our reviews on Deaf Heaven, Joe, Black Country New Road.
We did the Turnstile single.
Yahweh
Nail Gun.
Yahweh Nail Gun. Go check out all that stuff on our channel, on our YouTube, and go check out our Patreon page. $5 a month to become a quitter for bonus content. We just reviewed tracks from Ghost, and I honestly can't remember the other ones.
Great Grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot there.
It's a lot.
It's good. I'm telling you. You'll like it.
The Hives.
The Hives
was
yep.
another one. Joey Valence and Bray, I think, came up on that episode. So go check it out. $5 a month to become a quitter. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok for short clips and things like that. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I mean, come on.
Get in there, dude.
Now, what the hell are you doing? Tonight we're rolling through albums. We wanted to cover this one in kind of a short format. We didn't want to listen to the entire thing like we have been. Maybe we will. We'll see how far this goes.
Yeah.
But this is the new Bon Iver record that came out just this past week called SABLE, fABLE. fABLE with a small f.
The tiny f.
The tiny f. SABLE, big
all
old caps. Yeah. Big old SABLE. fABLE with that small f. This is his fifth album.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Vernon, a.k.a. Bon Iver. This is his fifth album. I think his last one came out in 2019.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a couple years. I was his last one. He got real goofy with the naming structures of his titles and his album names for a while there.
Well, it's always a comma.
There's always a comma, yeah.
Even when he released... Because he released part of this album as an EP last year.
Yeah.
And it was called SABLE, EP.
Oh, was it? Did he have the EP in there? I thought it was just called SABLE.
I thought it was SABLE, EP. Oh, no, it was just
right.
SABLE,
SABLE,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, so...
He uses the comma even when he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Which is annoying.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's a little pretentious, but, you know... I mean, Emma forever ago makes sense. It's kind of like the sentence.
Yeah.
And then the self-titled being Bon Iver, Bon Iver. You know, he's doing his thing.
What's your experience with Bon Iver? Are you a big Bon Iver fan?
I've liked a lot of his music.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him on my favorite artists, but I do make it a point to listen to something when he puts it out.
Yeah.
I think the first two records I did really enjoy when they came out. I thought Forever Ago was a really interesting debut, you know, how he recorded it, the story behind it, and you know, that a guy is doing this acoustic singer-songwriter record, but it doesn't sound like anybody else. And what I like about his releases is he's always doing that. You know, for the self-titled, which I think is probably his best record, he was able to grow out the sound, but it didn't just sound like a guy that now has access to a studio. He was still finding ways to produce his songs that they didn't sound like anyone else.
Yeah.
The following two records, I listened to again for the first time in a long time, 22 A Million and I, and I didn't like them as much when they were first released because it felt like some of the sonic experimentation was overshadowing the songwriting.
Yeah.
There weren't as many moments in the songs as there were these very adventurous production choices.
Yeah.
I think especially 22 A Million, I think it works stronger than I initially thought. And there are a couple tracks on I that I go back to that I'm like, oh, okay, those are really good. But yeah, so for me, I think the first half of his discography, I have more emotional connection to. Second half, I can admire, but didn't take as much away from.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same about him. I mean, when I think the first time I heard him was Skinny Love, which was, I think, how everyone first heard about him. Yeah, really like the emotional, like it was just so delicate and emotional, and I'm a sucker for stuff like that, you know, the shit that like makes you cry. Felt like he was like the go-to guy for stuff like that. And then his self-title came out. I like that one even more because it felt just like more full. Holocene was like a song that I always grabbed onto. And I was really interested in him as, like, you know, in my mind, probably the best of the best in terms of, like, what was going on at the time with, like, folk indie artists. Because that was, like, a huge boom. But I was, like, you know, I wasn't big into, like, Mumford & Sons or anything like that. It was, like, here's a representative of this art form that is, like, real, you know?
Yeah, and part of me almost wonders if that's why, like, 22 a Million and I took, like, the big step towards, like, like, almost, like, you know, they almost sound like Kanye West records, like how, like, you know, chopped up their samples and fucked up drums and stuff like that, where you're like, I don't want people to lump me in with the Lumineers.
I could see that. I mean, that makes perfect sense. But that's kind of what bothered me about 22 a Million. I'm like, when 22 a Million came out, I was like, first of all, I can't even pronounce these songs.
that is the thing about that one. You know, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? 33 God.
I remember when like Consequence of Sound or like Pitchfork announced that record. I was like, oh, sick. And then I checked it out and I'm like, one of these is just an infinity sign, and that feels like an assault on my knowledge and my intellectual, you know, abilities. So like, I don't even know what to call that.
Yeah.
And then you listening to it, it was just like, I felt like he was trying to differentiate himself so much that he like definitely lost, like not lost his songwriting ability, because you could tell it was still there. It was just like, how much glitchiness and how much do you need to produce, like, overproduce this record to make it seem like I'm very cool and very artistic and I'm also a genius, much like someone like Kanye West. It did feel like a Kanye West, like, attention grab almost at the time. And I didn't really return to him after that because I was just like, it just feels like too experimental and too showboaty in almost a way, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree that, like, some of the production didn't feel like it was lending itself to the music as much as it was, like, taking like center stage.
Yeah.
I do think that there are still moments on those records that are created through the production that you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
You know, that you're not going to get that just by, like, recording an acoustic guitar and putting your, like, falsetto over. Yeah. So it was like there was still, like, really good things on them, but that is kind of how I felt as well.
Yeah, I still have to go back and, like, revisit that because I feel like now, being older, I'm probably gonna appreciate it more.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like, when it first happened, I'm like,
yeah, maybe it was ahead of its time, and I was just like an angry young kid, just like, fuck you, I can't even read this.
That's certainly how I was.
I mean, I remember that's how I remember, like, a specific tweet that I tweeted, like, at him or something. I was like,
"What's up, Vernon?
You.
Think you're better than me?
Fucking loser! Can't even read this shit." Ready for a fucking swirly, dude?
I'll go up to you, Claire, right now, brother. I'm on my way.
Yeah. That's how I felt for sure. But on this new album, SABLE, fABLE, I guess we'll find out if he, you know, does the same thing or if he does what he was doing before, or if he kind of finds a balance between both. Should we just dive in?
Let's dive in.
It's I Quit My Band. Bon Iver style. This is the first track. ... And it's just 15 seconds of just that.
This is kind of a dial tone. Yeah, so how are we doing this? Are we just going to run?
Let's just run through it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the first song, Things Behind Things Behind Things. This was the first single that I heard off of it because I think I included it on one of the playlists when we did... when he announced this first EP, which makes up the first 4 songs.
Yeah.
And I love this song.
Yeah.
I think this is one of, if not the best song on the record. It reminds me of like those first two records. It's much more folk centered,
Mm-hmm.
but it still has like cool production. I think these are the best lyrics on the album. I really like this line about like looking in the mirror and it resembling a competitor.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other great lines towards the back half where he's like talking about, I got caught compiling my own news. I never lose. Yeah, and it was like, it kind of works both ways. Like, it could be like that echo chamber thing of like, you know, I was just picking the stories that I like, or he's famous, so it's like maybe he's just like constantly looking up himself.
Shit about himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
See
like,
if he's still relevant or whatever.
yeah. So I found that interesting, and yeah, just the melody works really well.
I thought the same thing. I mean, this song, I liked it when it first came out. I think it's a little bit weird in where it falls in the track listing because he split up the record in such a weird way, like disc 1 and disc 2, and there's like 3 songs or 2 songs on the first disc, and then I think the first half of it is supposed to be SABLE, and then the other half is supposed to be fABLE. And yeah, I think like I'm not really sure if it's supposed to work in like a context of the whole record because fABLE does seem different.
Very different.
Very different. But yeah, I think this is the strongest on the whole project for sure. I mean, it's the one that feels like it has the most like emotional depth, and like we'll get into it, but this one has like a hint of kind of edge and darkness to it, where the other ones are like very upbeat on the back half of the record. So yeah, I think this is like one to definitely come back to, and the lyrics as well, and there's like an actual like pretty good hook too with the things behind things.
Yeah, I would agree that the way that the album is broken up, I think I was reading like the SABLE portion of it is like reality and looking back, and then fABLE is kind of like, I don't know if it's like more looking forward or but you can definitely tell that there's like a huge energy shift.
Yeah.
Like the first 3 are very folk centered, downcast, little depressing, and then it becomes like a pop record.
Yeah.
On the back half.
Yeah.
I think I don't know exactly how I feel about the broken up nature of it.
I don't know either. I mean, it feels like another Bon Iver, like, it's so weird, you know? That's how I felt about it. It was like, it's just so, like, having the first song be the ... Like, it didn't even need to be a track there, you know? And it's, like, on disc 1 as a track. So, yeah, it felt like another thing to me. It's, like, an unnecessary way to make, you know, your record feel unique when it just is... It's just a record, you know?
Yeah, and like for us not being able to like 100% grasp the like concept, because clearly he's doing that.
Yeah,
there is some sort of concept. It may speak to the concept not being 100% like makes sense, other than like they're very different vibes, and one's half the length of the back half.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of get like this folk EP, and this is the second song. It's called SPEYSIDE.
Yeah.
I did like this song. It reminds me very much of like classic folk.
Yeah. And
like a classic folk song in particular, there's a song called Way Over Yonder in the Minor Key, which is a, what the hell is his name? Guthrie.
Woody
Guthrie song.
Yeah.
But Billy Bragg and Wilco do a really cool cover of it.
Can't say I'm familiar.
Yeah, it has like almost the same melody.
Okay. Yeah, I mean this melody does feel like that was one thing. It feels very familiar, like a classic type of folk song. It's like it's very skeletal, very delicate. This is I mean, I think I prefer the SABLE half of the record, even though it is like 3 songs. I prefer what he's doing here than what he's doing on fABLE, with more full production and like the more like kind of hip hop rhythm, R&B elements that he adds. Like this feels more like his early stuff, and that's what I prefer, I think.
Yeah, I like it both. I think that the back half really works well. I just don't know how much they like talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like they just feel like 2 very different experiences.
Yes.
And maybe it would be a different experience if I was listening it on 2 discs.
Yeah.
But like I'm just getting it in.
Just the way
It just says 2 discs on Spotify, and it just plays the whole thing.
Spotify is just lying to you. They're just like, it's 2 discs.
Yeah.
Trust us. It's 2
It may
discs.
not even be. It may just be the distribution when he put it in, fucked it up, and
might
he's
have
like, all
fucked it
right,
up.
whatever.
Like, I guess that adds to what I was trying to do and makes me look cool.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it. Let's move on to the next song, Award Season. This one is probably the most skeletal on the whole record. I mean, it barely has any instrumentation in it. It's mostly just him singing.
Yeah, and then there's like a moment where like the horns like really blow out.
Yeah.
I did like that. And then it returns back to being like very sparse.
The ending of it is what made me like I like the melody, but the ending of it where it's just him, it feels like you're walking through like, you know, sand or fucking marshmallows or something. Like it just feels so slow. You're like, I can't fucking let's get there, you know?
Yeah.
Like he just really slows it down, and you just have to like he takes like really long pregnant pauses between his lines, and it's a little bit, you know, tedious, but it's a good melody.
Yeah, and I listened to this EP a few times when it came out, and this felt more like a song that you would have on a short project to make it feel like a conclusion.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know what I mean? Like you get like these 2 kind of pretty straightforward, folkier songs,
Yeah.
and then you have this one that's a little more experimental. And I think it kind of worked that way. It was the song that I returned to the least out of
me
the EP. And then when it's like the 3rd on the album and it's leading into like a bunch of pop stuff, it kind of feels strange.
Yeah.
Like sequencing wise.
It does feel weird, like just putting it in front of like what we're about to get into. It's like it takes the wind out of your sails, you know, it kind of dies down and then you pick back up like in a big way. But yeah, I still like it in the context of the disc 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is just like it's mostly just him showing off his vocal chops and his lyrical chops, which I like it. I'm more of a fan of his falsetto.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he has like a good mid-range voice, but like nobody's falsetto sounds like that. And like I think he employs it on the back half in a way that I haven't really heard him do other than on other people's material.
Yeah.
Because like he's kind of become like I think kind of like a strange pop artist where he'll like drop into like
a Frank Ocean record.
or like a Taylor Swift record and then like lend his falsetto in that type of environment, and you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And the back half of this record is him like, what am I doing? Why am I giving this away?
Yeah.
But like I like this part.
This
where,
part
like,
is great, yeah.
Where like the horns kick in, it's like very pretty and but still sparse.
Yeah, there's not like drums or like bass or anything that comes in. It's just like nice horns. But yeah, I was gonna say something about his regular singing voice almost feels like a parody of like an indie artist at this point, because of like he was kind of, I mean, I felt like he was kind of parodied as an indie artist because he was like one of the first like folk guys that like comedy whatever it is, SNL or something, would make fun of. And I feel like I always hear that in his like regular singing voice. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, I think I like an archetype happened in the 2000s of like the knit cap, the like soulful guy with the guitar and the flannel, and he was definitely like, if not like the start of it, he was definitely like the poster child.
Yeah, he was that guy. Let's move on to the next part of this album. So this is Short Story. It kind of starts off on like a more instrumental note.
Yeah, I think this works as like a transition into the thing we're about to get. There's like a really pretty section with like strings and synth and stuff that kicks off after a line. It's like January 8th, the whole world. Yeah. That I liked. I think like The sequencing on this record is weird because of like the two parts, but
Yeah.
he does his best to make them feel right here.
Yeah.
I think he
There's-
does his best to make them actually feel like two parts.
There's a connection between award season and this song. I mean, like the melody feels similar. It just feels like it should like this is it should have been maybe latched on to award season, and that's kind of the way he's doing it because they're back to back. But I did like my favorite part of that was just how they lead into each other. We kind of missed it because we fast forward, but there is like sort of a easy transition between the two. And yeah, it picks up really nicely, and there's a lot of pretty things going on Short Story. Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Here's the next one. Everything is Peaceful Love. This is when it starts getting, like, the pop really starts showing. I mean, this song, like, to me, feels like a song that was, like, genuinely written for, like, a Hallmark movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all I could picture is like wedding video or like first dance or like, you know, some sort of highlight reel. Like, can't you see that?
maybe, but that hook is so good. And then he goes up to the falsetto. I think like my brain is just trying to fight that image because I do like this a lot.
I like it too, but that's what it says to me. It's like it's happiness, it's joy, but it's all like it's all in the family, dude. You know, like it's all like your mom and your dad are there. You're on a fucking like the Gateway Clipper. Nothing that's that fancy, but something. You know what I mean?
I think
You're out to eat at Bravo.
Wow, dude. Just a middle class wedding.
That's exactly what
Just dad going 11 grand in debt that he don't have.
you're at. Maybe the Rivers Casino, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to. I think I hear what you're saying in the melody specifically,
Yeah.
but I think the production is cooler than that.
I think so too. I mean, the production, like, there's a lot of songs that I think that way about on this record, but the production is cool. He does a lot of stuff, like a lot of cool glitchiness and samples that I think he does better on other songs besides this one. But yeah, this one feels very like First Dance to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going for it emotionally, but there was also part of me that responded to it after the two albums that felt like it was so trying to not give you that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's part of me that hears this and is like, oh, he figured it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the glitchy, weird production, but just bringing it with the pop songwriting as well.
That is one that, like, I have to give it credit for being at least accessible. You know, like, this feels like a song rather than like a bunch of weird ideas thrown in and kind of puzzle pieced together to create a song. But yeah, dude.
That hook is so good though.
I'm
I
just
would
fucking-
dude, I would dance to my mom.
I'm
this
dancing with
all
my
day,
mom to
dude.
this. Just some light front dancing.
Yeah.
Looking at my grandma.
Yeah, the captain of the Gateway Clipper trying to find my dad because the card got declined.
Yeah, just walking up to you. Where's your dad? You're like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm drunk.
He's on the top of the boat with like a cinder block tied to his leg. He's like, I gotta get out of this. I don't have 11 grand.
Someone sees him. Oh my god!
I just turn around.
The song's still playing.
Yeah. He's overboard.
Everything is peaceful. Let's move on. This is Walk Home. I like this one a lot. I love the sampling on it. I love how blown out it sounds with the bass and the drums. It has like kind of a hip hop R&B quality to it that I really like. But yeah, again, does have when it starts picking up with the verse, I still get that Hallmark warm fuzzy feeling with it.
Yeah, I love the production. Likewise, production on this song is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sampling's really great. The bass line is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading that he had a bassist that was in Prince's band towards the end of his life.
Oh wow.
Going a couple songs, and I would think that this is one of them because it has a really cool bass line. And there's part of this album that reminds me of Prince, especially with like the falsetto.
Yeah, I guess I could see that
at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting as much hallmark. There's definitely more like gospel in
Gospel and soul. Yeah.
gospel
for
and
sure.
soul big time.
Yeah.
And there's like, that does back in the question, can you take the skinny love guy giving you gospel and soul?
Yeah.
But there were like gospel elements on some of the first two records, not nearly as pronounced.
Yeah, I think on the first two records it was like more with like a choir, like choral element but like also it was paired with like acoustic guitar and more like folk instrumentation, where this has like some funky bass, and like those classic soul instruments backing it, so it puts you there more immediately. But I don't know. I mean, it does just still feel it still feels very like sweet and sugary to me. Like,
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
It's definitely his most straightforward songwriting that I've heard. Like, but I found that refreshing. Like, I liked to hear a guy who has a voice as good as he does.
Yeah.
Just go, like, make a pop record.
Yeah.
And I think it's a cooler pop record. Like, this song and the song before it is definitely a cooler level of pop
Yeah.
than some of the pop that he's made with other artists.
See, like, I agree with you 100%. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like that it's more accessible, but like after hearing, like, that was probably my reaction my first listen, and then on the third listen I started getting more and more glimpses of like, I started seeing more like corniness and cheesiness in it, and it started bringing me to, those wholesome places, which is not a bad thing. I shouldn't, I don't want to knock it for that, but like there are artists that I like. The tune at the core reminds me of an artist that I probably wouldn't like, but it's the production and what he's doing that makes me think this is a little bit better than that,
I can definitely understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like the I don't know if there is an artist that would be singing in that soulful style that I would gravitate to the way that I'm gravitating this. And it is like the context. It's the production.
Yeah.
It's the fact that like this is the guy that started out in a cabin by himself writing these folk songs.
This is day one.
Oh God, I love this song. Like, yeah, the production on this is so cool. Like the way they're chopping up the keys.
I'm back with my mom.
No, your dad would love this shit.
No, he wouldn't.
Doesn't he like didn't you say he likes like funk and shit like that?
Yeah, he does. He likes funk, but like the fucking intense funk.
Oh, okay.
Like you drop the bomb on
Okay.
Gap Band. Yeah, this kind of shit. He'd be like, get this off.
I think this is the most like gospel forward.
That's what I wrote down as well.
But like I love when the day one and then like the drums kick in,
Yeah.
but like the drums don't like blow you away. It's
Yeah.
like still subdued, but just I like that groove so much.
Yeah, it's really nice. It has, that church choir core thing going on. Yeah, I mean, there's like that vague, just like hip hop-ness to it. I mean, I don't know. It's just very like, I just can't get it out of my head. It's
right
just.
I love that, dude.
It's just so like, God, I don't want to say it. It's so like wedding core, Like it's so like guy with the like he's getting away from what he did in the past with the hipster folk people, but it's still like he's evolved with what hipster folk guys are now. Like they used to wear the hat and now they have the man bun and the tattoos, and and they're like youth pastors. Like I don't know, like I still just see that. I see that with all of these songs.
Yeah, so you're saying that the indie guy, he's like getting married at like 36.
Yeah.
And they're playing day one at the wedding.
Yeah.
Okay. Those guys need music too.
I know they need music. It's just That's not.
I mean, that's cool, dude. But the fuzzed out guitar.
The fuzzed out guitar is really cool. I mean, the instrumentation is great. I will say that. Like, it's all very neat and all very cool to listen to. I think it's a great, like, headphone experience for sure.
I'm not like if that corniness is there, maybe I'm just that guy because I like these melodies are working for me, the production is working for me. I don't have those like hang-ups. Like this is just like this just sounds fucking good to me.
Let's move on.
All right.
I want to hear more of this. Cuz I didn't not like the record. I did not like the songwriting. Like I definitely do. It's just it's very sweet. It's very wholesome to me. Mm-hmm. I guess that's really my problem with it. But I like there was an emotional quality to his older music, and even with his more glitchy stuff, that I felt like there's like with emotional music, I always want like a certain sadness to it. You know what I mean? And I felt like he was so good at that with his self-titled and for Forever Forever Ago. Like there's something that just like kind of crushed you in all of those songs, where I don't feel that. Like I feel just more like upbeat the whole time, you know? Like I'm here.
Yeah, it's definitely a much more joyous record.
I'm fucking Will Smith in Hitch, you know?
I'm Kevin James, dude. I'm it. Yeah, this song sounds like a mix between like Tom Petty and Prince.
I said not Tom Petty or Prince, but I said John Mayer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like very John Mayer.
Yeah, the whole like the back half of this record definitely has. It seems like he's purposefully trying to make like his first happy music.
Yeah,
and it starts with this EP that is very much in line with like the very sad.
Yeah.
But like he does, like you said, he does sad so well. Where like there's like a depth to the sadness. It's not just sad for sake of being sad.
It fucking brings you down with it.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I responded to him employing his voice like this because he has the chops to do it. It would be one thing if it was like Elliott Smith decided to make the summer album of the year. You'd be like, no, right. Elliott, I'm sorry. But like he has this like beautiful, soulful voice that he can employ it this way. And I just found that the immediacy of the pop hooks worked so well that I'm won over by the transition.
I would agree. I mean, I think it's probably something he's been trying to do. And I like what you said before. He's kind of, finally making his most accessible music, the most straightforward music that he's been trying to make for the past couple of years, and writing great. I mean, these like, I'm not saying these are not great hooks, they are great. I mean, they're great songs,
Big time. I think listening to it, this is probably the most Hallmark one.
I think so too.
Because it has like almost like a drum machine type feel.
Yeah.
But even then, like there's still hooks on that I'm like, damn, that's really good.
Let's move on to I'll Be There. Yeah, I like this one probably the most on the record after the first, disc. I felt like this one just had the most, like, after getting very sugary, sweet, soft for a long time, this one had like a certain like sex appeal, I could say maybe on it, like a certain smoothness and mysteriousness behind it.
It's definitely like the darkest out of the back half of the fABLE portion. And I know that Danielle Haim is listed on the next song, but I'm pretty sure she had a writing credit on this as well, and I think that's her voice.
Is that her?
With the I'll Be, not right here, but like there's a female vocalist that comes in during that I think is her. And I can kind of hear her writing on this as well, because I think that's Danielle Haim. Because like Haim is really good at taking like 90s R&B elements that you're kind of like, I've never heard that this way. Yeah. And this kind of feels like a 90s R&B song, but with like more indie instrumentation.
Yeah, it feels like a breakdown of like a genuine song.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, that's why I like it a lot. Like,
Yeah, there is one line that is maybe the one line on the record that I'm like,
uh-oh.
get your fine ass off the phone.
Does
or
he
whatever.
say that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
Keep that sad shit off the phone and get your fine ass on the road. Okay.
That was the one moment where I was like, he might be overstepping his new R&B.
It's just like a white,
so-
bald guy with a big...
a guy that looks like
Get your fine ass off the phone.
a guy that like works at a bait shop is what he kind of looks like, and he's like, "Get your fine ass over here."
It's like, dude, let's take a step back.
Dude, you're a lumberjack.
Look in the mirror.
I know you make albums with Frank Ocean, but you don't have a six pack.
You aren't Frank Ocean. Yeah. I saw a clip of him today, like playing basketball. Did you see that clip of him today?
No, is he like a Win Butler, like a secret?
He
like,
might be.
jock?
He seemed pretty good at basketball. He was playing with a bunch of like younger kids, and it was like this album themed, like that. The ball was like like that beige
Pink
color,
and
yeah,
blackish.
the backboard was pink and black. Like the square was black in the middle of the backboard. And yeah, he was tearing it up, and he has like this headband, like a sweatband on, and the camera, like you could see the back of it. He just has like this massive fucking. The horseshoe is unbelievable.
It is. He's rocking it because he
I
grows
love
everything
it.
else around it.
Yeah.
I will say that some of the merchandising on the album was a little much.
I didn't see.
Because it's like that salmon color
Yeah.
with the black, but they are selling something called Mood Mist,
Uh-oh.
which is some sort of fragrance that I
Okay.
thought was a little like, all right, man.
Wear this for your wedding, for your bat mitzvah.
I did like this one a lot. This is
Yeah.
another one that Danielle Haim is on.
Yeah,
And it also reminds me of a Haim song.
yeah, I thought so too.
It has that sort of like that beat.
Yeah, it's very like, I guess more radio friendly. This is one of one of the singles that came out after the EP, and that's what I felt about it right away when it first came out. It sounded like Haim to me. I didn't think we'd get. After hearing this, I didn't think we'd get a whole album of songs that sounded like this. But, yeah, it's another just very sugary, sweet, kind of like majestic sounding song for like the ending of a movie. I know I always relate songs to like scenes in movies, but like that's just what I see with this record.
Yeah, like the rom-com where the horrible mix-up that kept them apart.
Yeah.
For the second act, the third act comes and it was just there the whole time.
I've seen too many rom-coms, dude.
You have.
I've seen too many rom-coms to enjoy this record. I just keep going back. I'm like, this would be perfect in Good Luck Chuck.
And I've watched Heat too many times where I'm like, we don't need this. You need to quit watching
would be
Good
great.
Luck Chuck. You need to watch Thief by Michael Mann.
Yeah, I haven't seen Thief. I have seen Heat.
Heat rules.
He's great.
Thief is kind of like the blueprint for Heat
Yeah,
with James Caan, and James
Okay.
Caan's unbelievable on it.
James Caan's great. I'm a James Caan fan. Yeah, okay. I was thinking of
Sonny,
Robert
Godfather.
Duvall, but now I'm thinking of James Caan.
He's the dad in Elf.
Yeah, he's the dad in Elf, and Scott Caan is his son.
Of course.
Yeah, Scott
I mean, no man has worn a vest better than Scott
Caan's
Caan.
great at wearing vests. Let's move on to the next song.
I feel like we said nothing about this. We talked about Thief. It's a good song.
It's a good song. This is There's a Rhythm.
I think a solid closer.
Yeah, this is.
I mean,
this
it's not
is-
the
it's not
closer,
the closer,
but it's the last song we get.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think this is another like R&B inspired song that he does really well. Like at this point, I don't like he's really not doing anything different on this record. Like the songs start to feel a little bit samey at this point. We are at the end of the record, but yeah, I mean, he's closing it up in the same way that he opened it up, I think.
Yeah. I will say, like, I'm thrown off by the lengths of the two separate sections.
Yeah.
But if he was trying to make each a like holistic experience, I think he did a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
Like, Sable does sound like a more like maturely produced version of the type of folk stuff that he was doing. and this all has this sort of like soulful
Yeah.
gospel, at times joyful, sort of vibe, and yeah, both worked for me. And I do like this. I think towards the back half we get less of the cool production on the fABLE stuff.
Yeah.
Like he comes out of the gate pretty hot production wise with like Walk Home, Day One, whereas like this is a little more indie. Like there's more lap steel here.
Yeah.
Electric piano.
That organ.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate the song. It
No,
just
great
started,
melody.
Great melody. It feels like a melody that would have shown up on the SABLE portion.
Yeah.
Except just with like, just more grand, happier, upbeat production, better instrumentation, just more full. But yeah, I like this one. What's I don't even remember the last one. Is it
The last one's Au revoir,
Yeah, au revoir.
and it's kind of just like a jam, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like a synthy sort of what have you.
yeah. It's a what have you type of track. Do you want to move into CAs while this
I
plays?
think we move into CAs.
I think we're here. I think we did it. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Yeah, I like this a lot. I there's definitely things that I've listened to this year that I like more and I think are better, but I enjoyed listening to this as much as I enjoyed listening to almost anything else. And I think it is because of that immediacy. Like there aren't songs that I wanted to return to as much as something on like the Deaf Heaven record, or even like some of the songs on that Horse Girl record. But just it was so easy to listen to every time, like especially once you got into the SABLE portion of it. Those songs are just so immediate. They're like giving you the ear candy every time, like really good melodies, really strong pop songwriting. They're not like withholding the moments from you, they're just giving it to you over and over and over again. And what I will say is, even as he made something more accessible, more poppy, he still made a record that doesn't sound like anybody else, which has always kind of been his thing. You know, like even when he's writing indie folk on an acoustic guitar, he's finding a way to make the sound of the record unique, distinct.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be songs on here that I return to, more probably the first part of SABLE and then like the opening parts of fABLE, I think are the strongest portions. Like they both begin really strong. And I think, you know, award season's okay. It works well in the context of the record. And then some of the back half of the fABLE songs get a little like, okay, we've heard you do the R&B stuff.
Yeah.
But overall, I really liked this record, and I was surprised by how much I liked it. Like I thought, like after hearing SABLE on its own, I was like, this would be cool. He's writing good songs again. It'll be cool to get another like folky Bon Iver record. But there's also part of you that is like, if he just went back to Emma Forever Ago, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
After all that like exploration, you're like, I'm just gonna write another folk record.
Forget all that glitchy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing.
But it did seem like he found a way to take that exploration, wrap it back into like the more like immediately rewarding pop songwriting, and made a record that like one of my favorites of his. You know, I think it would be up there. I don't think it's as good as Bon Iver, like the self-titled, but I like this a lot. I'm gonna go 7-9.
7-9. Wow, that's a good score. I felt just really like I'm having a hard time with my emotions for this record because, like I've said it a couple times already, like it is his most accessible, and I think it is him finding a good balance between the glitchy stuff that he was doing, the more experimental stuff, and the classic Bon Iver songwriting, while also like moving into this really upbeat, positive, like gospel R&B type of style that is on the fABLE portion of this record. So it was very easy to listen to. I enjoyed the production. I enjoyed the songs. But you said something that is something that it just like stuck in my head every time I listened to it. Like it was like a flashing light that it is just easy listening. Like it's just like adult contemporary put it on any time, and it's going to just like be in the background of like, those Christmas card moments. And I just like it was hard for me to get past that. Like I don't know why. I liked listening to it, but there was a lot of songs I just didn't feel a huge connection to, because I just, every time I heard it, I felt like I was seeing the same scenes, same vibe for every song, just like upbeat, good vibes, happy vibes, wholesome, soft, easy listening. It was just all of that rolled into one every time. That's why I enjoyed the stuff off of the first half, or the SABLE portion, better, because it had a little bit more of an emotional depth and edge, even though it was more skeletal. I like Things Behind Things a lot, and I wish he would have done more of that and kind of like brought his folk songwriting with guitar and had just like bigger, better production like he did here, like more throughout the record. But yeah, I can't knock it for being a good record. Like it is good. I just think it wasn't for me. I think it was just like, it kind of washed over me a bit. I can acknowledge that it's probably his best work in years. I would probably put it behind the first two and put it in front of 22 A Million and I. So
smack dab in the middle.
Smack dab in the middle, I think. I mean, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just think it is a type of music that I don't fully resonate with. But like, if you get me in a mood, then maybe during the summer or Christmas time, I mean, it is Easter this weekend.
Either the heat of July or December 23rd are the two times that you should be listening to
just holidays,
yeah.
Dude. I mean, it is Easter. I'll put it on in the background. Yeah. Easter might be a good, put this on, my fan, like, what?
Get your fine ass.
Get your fine ass
away
over
from
here.
that ham.
Right, exactly. My uncle just like, get your fine ass over here.
He's had a couple too many Miller Lights.
Oh, dude, this is an album for just like one too many wines. A little too much yellow tail at the table. Feeling
passing
real
that thing
good.
Around.
So yeah, I was feeling a 6.6 to this.
Okay, where's that leave us?
That leaves us with a 7.25.
Okay.
So 7.3, I would say.
I think that's a good ship lollipop, hell yeah.
Good ship a hallmark, hell yeah.
Yeah, a hallmark approved.
A hallmark
hell
approved, hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just, every time I heard it, I was like, this is good, but it's making me feel too joyous, Like, I can't get that joyous,
Yeah.
I live in Pittsburgh,
It's true.
fucking was cold today and warm yesterday.
Yeah, they keep tricking us. We'll get like 165-degree day, and then it's 38 degrees.
Right, exactly. I'm too pissed off all the time to get to that level of like happiness,
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, especially like if your relationship with Bon Iver is from those first two records, which mine is as well. But I did respond to how well he was able to pull it off and still retain a uniqueness to the sound. Like, if he would have went like full pop production, it would be the corniest shit literally of all time. Yeah. But he still was able to maintain a, like, if the music was not transgressive, which it wasn't, it's very poppy, very sugary. There was enough like transgression in how the music was composed and produced to be like, okay, this is cool. I like how these elements, like the vocal samples, chopping up the strings and stuff like that. Yeah. But I do understand where you were coming from. I just think it worked better for me. And there is part of me that thinks that would it have worked better if we would have got a little less of the pop stuff and a little more of the folk stuff, and they kind of sat half and half. There is a weirdness to the construction of this project that I'm not 100% sold on. Yeah. Like, there's part of me that thinks that they maybe should just coexist, because they do almost feel like completely different things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it almost feels like he started, writing a folkier, more sad record, and then just kind of like gave up halfway through just because he was like, I don't, this is not what I want to do. And he started writing more pop songs, and it started fleshing out that way.
He's like,
But
I got money. What am I
Wait,
doing?
why am I sad? I'm not sad, But yeah, he could have, peppered them into the rest of the track list and not split them up, and it probably, it may have worked better as a project for me. But yeah, I think he just went a little bit too hard in one direction, and I was, I didn't have as many like emotional moments with this record because I think when I listen to folk and emotional songs, I'm more used to him specifically giving me like those crushing blows,
Yeah, there's never that. Like, there's a couple moments on those first records where he sounds like a wounded animal.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, oh my God.
And that's, sometimes I need that. Sometimes I need to be like, wow, fuck.
I am a wounded
I'm a
animal.
wounded animal.
I'm Eeyore. I'm missing a tail, just walking around.
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I think it worked better for me, but I could see a lot of people going either way with it. Like,
I'm happy that it's falling within our hell yeah range. I will say that.
I think it deserves it. It's
a
good record.
I think it does deserve that from the show as a whole. What do you think of it? Did you enjoy this? Did you feel like me, like it was too soft and you needed to be punched in the gut a little bit? Or were you like Evan, who cannot wait to dance with his mother on the Gateway Clipper with this one?
Yeah, I'm getting a mail-order bride just so that
Just
I
so
can
you can
shotgun a wedding and dance to Day One with my mom.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. I mean, I'd be there with the camera, and I'd be happy that song was playing. But let us know what you think. Comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok for short-form content, and follow or subscribe to our Patreon page. It's $5 a month to become a quitter. You get all kinds of bonus content. We're going to be doing more stuff with that soon. Links are all in the description for all of that. And that's Bon Iver, 7.25, a Hallmark approved hell yeah for his new album, SABLE, fABLE. So I quit my band. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.